Hi, my name is Anthony Laus, and I'm an aspiring game designer. Today I'm going to present my portfolio project, The Legend of Feiyan, The Secret of the Lotus. It's a proof of concept I developed in Unity over the past 10 weeks. So imagine the dialogue, tone, and puzzle structure of The Secret of Monkey Island, combined with the third-person design sensibilities and musical focus of The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. So the game is set in Qing Dynasty China during the reign of the Qianlong Emperor, and you're Feiyan, a traveling musician hired by the Emperor to document the regional music of China. Let's start, shall we? So this prototype is the prologue before Feiyan meets the Emperor. So as you can see, it's a dialogue-centric game. But it's also centered around playing the liuqin, the Chinese mandolin you see there. You actually play it by holding an input button and moving the control stick either down or up. So B, X, Y, and RB. This was to simulate playing a stringed instrument, i.e. holding a fret and then strumming on the strings. So here's some dialogue. So the game would revolve around interacting with elements of the environment and people through your music. So for example, there's this unlit campfire. And if we play this song, there's a tone, and then the full song will play. Then another tone to signify that something will happen, and the thing happens. So the song recognition and the song input mechanic were the first things I prototyped in Playmaker, a visual scripting interface for Unity, and I had to make sure that this was viable before continuing past the pitch document and initial research I had done at the beginning of the project. So normally at this point, the player would learn about the 3 songs available to them during the prologue. King, the song that lights fires. Pingjing, the song that creates clouds to put out fire. And Shengdong, the song that makes dead vegetation bloom. Let's skip the tutorial to show you the level in this short amount of time. Right, so this is the game world. It's a third-person camera. Gotta love that placeholder 3D art. So like I said, you can also interact with people. Normally this bridge wouldn't be there, and these 3 builders would be emotionally unstable, and you'd have to play music to motivate them to get back to work. So see, this one's sad, this one's stressed, and this one is unenthusiastic. So as you see, as you approach these people, the liuqin icon will glow, and you can press it, and a tone will play to indicate that playing a song here will trigger an event. You can hold LT to get the song list out if you don't know them by heart. I wanted the player to feel like a great musician, so that's the reasoning for this feature. You can actually enter liuqin playing mode anywhere and just play freestyle. But it won't do anything unless you're at a you see the icon and the tone. So the level itself is based on the Pangate landmarks in Suzhou, a city affectionately called the Venice of China, as it was built along the Grand Canal. The Pangate landmarks are actually 3 landmarks: the Wumen Bridge that we are currently crossing, the Ruigang Pagoda in the back there, and the Pangate itself. I worked hard on the scale of the level, referring to real-world distances and other video games like The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. I even did some trig to see how high that mountain is compared to Link, and tried to recreate it in Engine. I wanted the level to feel rewarding to explore, but not tedious to explore. And one of the big inspirations for this was actually the representation of Venice in Assassin's Creed 2. The first thing I did was find a map with a bunch of landmarks represented here in orange. Then I connected them with orange lines. And then I took a real-world map of Venice and placed the same landmarks and connected them with the black line, as you can see there. I wanted to study how the developers conscientiously decided to place the landmarks to better serve their gameplay focus of fast and fluid traversal. And I did the same thing with my map. As you can see, it's not as drastic a change as going from real-world Venice to in-game Venice, but there are some differences, like the waterways, for example. I wanted them to be a sort of natural border for the level, instead of adding extra buildings or extra trees or extra mountains to block off the level. So the question you might be asking yourself is, while we walk through this pan gate, is why go through all this trouble to recreate a past place from a different era? Well, as a game designer, one of my aspirations is to create games that could be used in an educational context, and I wanted to promote tangential learning in this game. Let me get out the definition. Tangential learning is the process by which people educate themselves on a topic when it is presented to them in a context that they enjoy. So for example, you play Assassin's Creed 2, a game set in the Italian Renaissance, and then spend an hour after that reading about the Borgias on Wikipedia. So to promote that in this game, I decided to implement a journal for the main character, Feiyan. So she can read. At any point you can read about events like the Southern Inspection Tours, where she meets the Emperor, locations she visits, such as Suzhou and the Pangate landmarks, as well as elements of Chinese culture she interacts with, like the liuqin and kanji, which is a quest item and delicious. The last thing I wanted to talk about was the 2D art. I collaborated with one of my peers in my class, and she did a really good job following my design intentions, and she has a really effective workflow. She brought life into the game with her character portraits and UI assets. Together, we worked using a agile production methodology. We used Trello and weekly reporting to make sure we were up to date at all times on the project. We actually finished 1 week in advance, and we were able to implement things that weren't absolutely necessary, like the moving start screen, as well as the semi-functional menu system you see here. The last thing I wanted to show you was this shot of the Ryugang Pagoda. In Suzhou, there's this weird octagon in the middle of a lake. I'm not sure what purpose it serves, but it looks quite nice. And there, I wanted to show you that I recreated it in the level as well. So thank you for watching, and have a nice day.